Hi, this is Katie Ethington. I'm here in Business 483, and I'm looking at the case for the Rent the Runway. Now, for Rent the Runway, just a quick summary of what it is. It's a company that lets you rent designer dresses so that you can experience, what it would be like to be in those types of very expensive and very popular designs without having to pay the full retail cost, which is a great expense for most people. Now, with this one, they are facing a decision. They've only launched about 2 months prior to when this case starts, and they need to decide, should they take the momentum that they've already been able to build up over the past year and, of course, over the past 2 months of their launch, or should they stick to their original plan, which was to focus on organic growth and to basically, get themselves moving at a steady pace and build that way. With this one, my hypothesis is that they need to focus on organic growth first. The reason why I bring this up is because with this company, while they have had great success in many areas, including, their customer base and the excitement around their company. However, operationally, they've really struggled, and that's including both their website and their warehouse. My hypothesis is that before starting to fund and add more inventory and add more, more lines to their rentals, they need to fix what they have first. And they can still do that while focusing on the organic growth. First things first is they do need to hire someone to help them in their warehouse for logistics. A big problem that they had is that they started off with a small inventory, and then they realized that they just couldn't keep up with their demand, and then their inventory kind of started to get out of hand. It started with about 800 articles, moved up to 1,000. Their goal is already to get it all the way up to 5,000 before the month of April, which is tremendous growth in their inventory. They need to scale that back and be able to have a logistics manager make their inventory that they have work better for them so that their expenses don't get out of hand. Second thing they need to do is they do need to continue working on their website so that it is functional and that it is something that's easy to use and helps them retain clients and get the clients to actually to actually go ahead with their rental rather than abandoning it because the site is difficult to use. Of course, on the other hand, they do have a lot of momentum, so there is that going against them there. If they were to slow down, that they might lose some of it. However, they do have a great team because they have Jenny in there as one of the co-founders, who's very much a dreamer. She goes out, she's good with people, she's very good at kind of getting things started. And then they also have Jen, who's the other one, who does a great job of kind of getting those things done. She's the doer. So between those pair, I do believe that they can kind of work here for the beginning part of 2010, fixing what they have and kind of getting that going, while towards the end of the year they can focus more on, trying to get more funding, trying to add more lines. My personal suggestion would be to focus on the accessories first and then go from there. But I do believe that they have a viable product. For example, we don't have all of the information as for their overhead costs, but for their dresses, they're getting them for a great price. For example, like one of their mid-tier dresses, they got it for $226 when it was over $700 retail, and they get a profit of about $59 per rental, which means they only have to rent that dress about 4 times before they've covered the costs and they can start making actual profit, which if they're able to get their logistics together and get that working, then they can definitely rent that dress more during its season. And then, of course, they can also look into ways as for once that season's gone and that dress is no longer in fashion, they could look into ways for either making their rentals cheaper for their out-of-season dresses or even selling them so that they don't have to worry about storing dresses that aren't in fashion, and they can replace it with dresses that are new. So that is my personal belief in this thing. I do believe that Rent the Runway has great potential, despite competition and some operational issues they've run into. But I believe if they focus on fixing those operational problems, once they do decide to grow, they're going to have a nice firm ground to stand on, and it's going to work out great for them.